turned to the world leaders where you're sitting, and he said, "My fellow inhabitants of the world, let us take our stand here in this assembly of nations, and let us see if we, in our time, can move the world to a just and lasting peace." Thank you very much.
We have time for 2 or 3 questions. Would anyone like to step up to the mic and on either side? And please ask a question rather than making a statement. And introduce yourself.
My name is Elder Pedro Perez Ortiz from New York City, and I like to describe myself as a street New Yorker. And I live nearby where you enjoy being a professor at Columbia University. My question is, you have a great blueprint. What deal with the messiness that we have to deal to get with what you want us to get?
With the what?
Messiness.
Messiness of
life.
Of life. Life is going to be messy, by the way. But that's some of the fun of it. You know, my basic message is that we need to define goals together. We need to take on common aspirations. And then we need to be practical in how we work for them. And that's why I have found working for the Millennium Development Goals to be so thrilling, and why I think we're on the threshold of another thrilling period for the Sustainable Development Goals. And for those of you who will want to be involved, I'll want to be helping you to get involved in very exciting and constructive ways so we can stay in touch. I'm always reachable, by the way, sachs@columbia.edu, so I'm very easy to find.
Hi, my name is Janice Block. I'm representing the International Association of Applied Psychology. And you used the word well-being many times in your phenomenal speech, and I appreciate hearing you and am moved by so much of what you have said. In the Millennium Development Goals or the Social Development Goals, healthcare is spoken about, but the words mental health are not. So I would like to know your perspective as to where those fit. Clearly they fit into well-being.
Bravo. So we will have here in this chamber, I think it's this chamber or next door, on April 2nd, a meeting on happiness and development.
Happiness.
Exactly, and this is sponsored and promoted by the government of Bhutan, which, as you know, has decided that instead of chasing gross domestic product, it will aim for gross national happiness. And how good is that? When the Prime Minister Jimmy Tinley spoke at this podium in September 2010 at the MDG's special session, he said that happiness should become the 9th Millennium Development Goal. And everybody applauded. The follow-up to that was a resolution that said that happiness and well-being should be incorporated into development, and the meeting on April 2nd will be aimed to do that, and I believe they can be part of the Sustainable Development Goals. So if you would like to write to me, I could give you some more details and follow up. But I'm specifically interested in, very specifically interested in this psychology because community coming into this, because mental health services should be a very important part of this.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question only. Sorry to disappoint everyone. Please.
I'm a high school teacher, and I'm always trying to balance how much I teach my students and how much I let them learn on their own. So when you travel to developing countries in the world to talk about the issues of development, how do Western countries or experts in the field balance the need to give advice with the need for countries to develop solutions on their own?
Good, excellent question. I like the Millennium Development Goals. I hope and expect to like the Sustainable Development Goals because was the whole world took them on. These became a shared set of objectives. And they inspired civil society, young people, and governments around the world. So the Millennium Development Goals don't define the whole agenda of politics or civil society, but the idea of goals such as ending poverty, ending hunger, fighting disease, preventing deaths of mothers in childbirth, and so forth, are shared human goals around the world. And what makes these goals not empty or even a source of cynicism is that the call is for national action plans, locally made and led, and supported internationally to accomplish these purposes. I think it's fine to participate, good to participate in an active discussion to identify shared goals and responsibilities. And I think your students need to understand, as do people everywhere, that fighting human-induced climate change or ending extreme poverty is a mutual responsibility. It's not really an opt-out option. So it's not that you get full choice in this. This is part of human responsibility as part of a very crowded world. How to do it, how to empower people, that of course, I'm sure you inspire your students to take on those challenges. So letting them be creative, come up with their approaches, attack our approaches and so forth, that's all great. One of the things I'm interested in, by the way, is students directly communicating with students abroad. So we have a program called School to School, where African students, for example, are on Skype with students in the U.S. talking about shared problem solving, and even doing a week of shared curriculum. And if you're interested in that, or any other teachers are interested in that, contact me, because I do believe that our kids, our young people, need to know and feel they're in a global world. And if they're going to learn about another part of the world, meet the students there. And it's better than pen pals these days. Or the transcend national borders will also accelerate the development. So we call it Connect to Learn, a school-to-school program. And again, if you're interested, Sachs at Columbia.edu. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.